What's up, guys? Let's see if this is actually going to let me go live. We will see. I didn't get a chance to look at other things today. My day went off the rails really, really quickly. So we'll see if it says that I'm actually live on YouTube. I did a whole bunch of stuff to try to figure it out earlier. And I don't see that I'm live on YouTube. So if it doesn't go live on YouTube, then that's fine. I will get it downloaded and recorded, or recorded and downloaded. It's already recording. But so we're gonna switch up just a little bit because I know. Let me move the camera over here real quick. I know that I have to get through some of y'all that still have the soul astrology stuff, the soul's purpose, wherever you're watching. So we're gonna do those, and then I'm going to do some of the love mapping. I'm gonna look at my schedule a little bit because yay, it's live on YouTube. Thank every god that ever godded. Okay, sweet. It's obviously pretty far behind though. That's interesting. But I'm gonna have to move some stuff around in my schedule this week, and it is what it is. I actually think that let me look at my TikTok schedule, what I've got planned so far. Oh, I'm so tired of ads. Every time I get on TikTok, ad. I don't want to. I don't want to. I know y'all are tired of it too. So, my wonderful lady Kelly, who does my nails. I gotta show you guys this. And then we'll do this. So my wonderful lady Kelly that does my nails, her parents and her two daughters went back home to Vietnam for a little while. Her youngest kid had never been there, so she's been gone for a little bit. So today was the first day I got to see her. I have had this appointment booked for a little bit, and I've been really excited. And I originally went in. I know you guys all get kind of excited sometimes when I'm showing you my nails, because I get excited. But I went in with the intent of having red and gold nails. That's what I went in with the intent. And then on the way there, I was like, well, maybe I want like the beetle carapace looking nails, right? Because like the chrome, that's like the color shift chrome. I was like, maybe I want that. Maybe I want to do like the green to yellow to orange, right? I was like, maybe I want to do that. And so Kelly was showing me photos from her trip, which she showed me a bunch of stuff from where they went to over to China. They got to see the pandas, and a massive Buddhist statue of Buddha carved in the whole side of the mountain is carved as Buddha. And then there are bodhisattvas on the side. And she's showing me this absolutely amazing crystal clear lake and telling me about all this stuff. And then she starts showing me videos of they went to a theater production, and y'all, China has us beat hands down with their theater productions. I need to go to China just to go witness this, okay? Like I think that this probably would put Vegas to shame, okay? So in there, they were sitting right in this one row, not even in the front, way up toward the middle. And they have water going on in the background of, like they're at a lagoon or something, and water starts coming down from the ceiling and this fountain, and I'm like, what? And then they're floating across on this humongous flying carpet with lights and plants, and I'm like, what? And she even said, she was like, she's like, I don't even understand Chinese, but she was like, the way that they move and the music and the voices, she's like, what's going on. She's like, what's going on, And so yeah, so while she was showing me this, she was showing me pictures of these women that were walking down from, the back toward the stage. They had the most beautiful ornate dresses on that I've ever seen in my life, right? Of course, I like the blue and gold one. But then there was one that was 100% 1980s. Okay, maybe not 100%, but pretty close. It was dark purple faded to like hot pink with gold embellishment. She had a gold headdress, and I was like, maybe we should do purple and pink nails. So that's what we did. And I'm going to show them up close. I'm in love with them, okay, because they're still pink underneath, but they are the color shift chrome. So they're going to look purple. So they're like purple, green, pink, but they have diamonds on them. And I'm so excited. They have little pink, yeah, so I'm excited. So I was like, oh my God, they're like Lisa Frank 1980s making me happy. I'll have to take a video of them outside in the sun because yeah, they're phenomenal. And the thing is, like up there, they're only looking the blue color, but they're like pink, purple, blue. Yes. 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 So for those of you guys that don't know, like that's the only thing I don't do for myself. Like I do my hair myself. I wear the strip lashes because I'm lazy. And like I have my esthetician license. I dermaplane my own face. Like I do all of those things, right? So my nails are like the only thing that I do to pamper me. Like is the only thing I do. And the pedicures, I wasn't ever a fan of pedicures until my doctor was like, no, 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 as a diabetic, you need to be getting pedicures. And now seeing the difference it's made in my feeling in my feet, yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. So this is like the only thing that I do for me. Like it is. It's the only thing I do for me. Um, so yeah. So I always get excited to go see Kelly. And I just want to let y'all know, she brought me back the coolest magnet I have ever seen. It's like 3D. It's crazy, right? And then she brought me back currency from Vietnam. She was like, I know that you like to collect weird stuff. And she was like, I didn't know if you had any Vietnamese currency. And I was like, I don't. Wait till you guys see how cool this shit is. Okay. First of all, it's not paper. It's like vinyl. I don't know what it is. But there is a little window right here. Look, a little window. And there's a huge one right there. Like, what? It's the coolest thing. I was like, this is the coolest. This is the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing. And so anyway, it just, I don't know. It's the coolest damn thing. So I thought it was really cool. And but yeah, the little hole window is just insane. It's just insane. It's just insane. So you guys are gonna have to forgive me. I've got a I guess that'll have to work. I've got Instacart coming because I went to Walmart yesterday and my dogs are spoiled. And but they have I do the fresh pet things for them and chop them up because Zeus, he's so old, man. Like he doesn't really have any teeth left, so he just has the gummet, you know. But they're also partial to. Did you see your roll eyes? They're also partial to the specific flavors that they like. So they've been out of those specific flavors at the little neighborhood market and at the big Walmart by my house. So I just had to order food from somewhere else for them because they're spoiled. So they get fed in the morning, they get fed at night. This morning they decided they weren't really going to eat. And I'm like, well, I mean, I was of the opinion like, well, if you get hungry enough, you'll eat. And they did eat a tad, but not a lot. You never heard a doctor say that? So here's what I mentioned it to my doctor years ago. 2019. 2018. It doesn't matter. One of those years, okay? Long time ago. So I was in the doctor's office and I had mentioned to her that like the outside of my pinky toes were starting to get a little tingly. And she was like, well, it could be the shoes you're wearing. Because I wear a lot of boots and stuff like that. But I have this weird claustrophobic thing with my feet. And I don't know how else to explain it. But neurospicy tattletale on myself. Ready? So if I'm wearing boots or shoes of any type, I have to be able to cross my toes. If I can't cross my toes in that shoe or wiggle my foot out of it to cross my toes, I ain't wearing them. I don't know why, but I ain't wearing them. I think I feel like if my feet are too confined, then I'm confined. I don't know how that makes sense. But anyway, so I didn't think it was my shoes. Could have been still. And she said, "Do you get pedicures?" And I said, "No." And she, first of all, she looked at me. She was like, "All right, personally, why?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't like people touching my feet." And she was like, "Okay, you're going to have to get over that. And you need to go have pedicures." And I was like, why? And she said, and she did tell me this. I'm gonna tell you what she told me. Now, let me say this. This is not medical advice, okay? I am not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. Okay. This is not medical or professional advice. This is just what I have noticed with me, with my personal experience. So I get the pedicure with like the hot stones, like where they rub them on my legs, like they massage your legs with them, and then I get the exfoliating pedicure as well. I'm not a fan of the paraffin wax ones. They make your feet feel phenomenal, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, right? So I started getting pedicures like almost every 2 to 3 weeks, like clockwork, in 2019, and I have noticed a big difference. I have noticed a big difference. First of all, I don't go to a big place. I just go, like, I go to one person, but I used to go to a bigger place. They will inspect your feet. So if you're diabetic and you're worried about having any problems with your feet, they will look at your feet, and because they can't work on you if there's broken skin. So they'll tell you right away. So if you have something and you don't know, they'll tell you, okay? They exfoliate your feet. So just exfoliating it's going to remove all of the dead skin. So this is the esthetician in me talking. It's going to remove all of the dead skin, and so that means that new skin is going to start growing. And then the hot stones, the heat, and the massage helps to kind of move the lymphatic stuff around, helps to pull blood down. And I have just noticed a huge difference. It did take about, I'm going to say, a month and a half, 2 months. And I really noticed a difference. And I noticed a difference because I was outside standing in the grass and the wind started blowing, and some of the grass was brushing against my foot, and all of a sudden, like, the side of my foot was ticklish, and I was like, "You don't say." So if you're diabetic, like, highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. um I'm just saying, you might notice that, like, it might take a month or so for you to notice a difference if you already have tinglies in your feet, but start doing it. Start doing it. Um, there must be a few doctors in Tulsa telling people to go do it, because I have seen a lot of guys, older guys, getting pedicures. And I see a lot of women that they only go in for a pedicure. Like, they don't get their nails done. They only go in for a pedicure. So, yeah, I kind of swear by them at this point. Like, I kind of swear by them at this point, and it forces me to sit still. It forces me to sit still. But anyway, all right, let me keep an eye on that. Trying to keep an eye on. There we go. Yeah. All right. So let me do some things over here, because Sass brought up a good point. Like, I don't know if tickets are still up for tonight. I am going to be doing some of the soul astrology tonight, so that way you guys know. But I have up to do relationship astrology. Come on, man. Stop it. There we go. All right. So if you guys want to get on the list, I've only got like one person on the list right now. So if you guys want to get on the list, then you can do that. If I can get my computer to want to do the things. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Sweet. Sweet. And then I already had my list up from the other day. Hopefully it didn't go back. We'll cross our fingers. If not, I can find it. But it would be nice. Yes, it's still up. Sweet. So we are going to start with Miss Rita. And I don't know that I've pulled a chart for you. So let's get that pulled up. What in the hell? Okay. There we are. Oh, Marigeared. So I've been trying to get my other monitor up and working. I got all the cords, but my computer still won't recognize it. So that's a problem for tomorrow. All right, so Rita is first. I guess I could have looked to see if I have actually pulled your chart. So let me start there. Let me start there. I got overheated today. And we're going to be chugging the water. Nope, I haven't done one for Rita. So let's pull you up here. And then I will get all this up where you guys can see. That's a lot of places, but I'm gonna assume it's that one. All right. So then we're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get Miss Rita up here. Let's see here. There's the Rita. Wow, that got really big and really abrasive really quickly. They got really big and really abrasive really quickly. Sorry over there on YouTube. Give me just a second. Let me adjust. Usually I have all this adjusted, but that didn't happen, did it? Because here we are. All right, so let's fix this because I can't see. Because I can't see. What in the hell are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Those of y'all that are watching on YouTube, all you can see is me flipping all they can see is me flipping the thing around. That was funny. I'm sorry. You know it was. You know it was funny. All right, so let's fix this one so I can actually see better. So we're not going to hit enter this time. Those of y'all on YouTube, let me show you what just happened. This is what I did. So I was adjusting the top so I could see it better, and I accidentally did that. And so on TikTok, they're watching the chart rotate like. So that's what happened. All right, let me see here. Let me see here. Do I still have it on? I think I do. Yes, I do. That makes me happy. All right, then. Can I make this bigger? Ta-da! That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. That made me the happy. All right, there we go. Now I feel like we're cooking with Crisco. Okay. So, where's the glasses? I need my new glasses to come in. I have been stalking that page. I ordered them like a week and a half ago. I know that I ordered the lenses that change color and all that stuff on one of them, and I ordered the blue light blocker, and I know they got to do that, but still. All right. That is a Bodhi fingerprint completely. I just got that everywhere. All right. There we go. There we go. All right, Miss Rita. Since this is the first time I'm looking at your chart, I'm going to kind of go through everything. That is a crazy amount of shit in the middle of your chart, dude. That is, I'm like all of this. That is so many aspects right there. Holy hell. Okay. So we got Sun down here in Taurus in the third house, Saturn in Gemini in the third house. Then you have your Venus and Mars in Cancer in the fourth house. Oh my God. Okay. That is for another time. You have your South Node over here, barely. Well, no, it's not barely. It's in Cancer. In Cancer in the fifth house. Moon in Leo in the sixth house. Which one is this? I hate that the asteroids are all the same. Ugh, I hate it when they call it that. You have your Hades. No, wait. What the hell? Okay. I wish that they had different things. It gets hard to tell what you have to click on the fucking thing every single time because they're all the same little star. Which I get. There are like 45,000 mapped asteroids in astrology, so that's a lot. That's a lot of that's a lot of that's a lot of little thingies, little symbols. Uh-oh, what happened? Let me see. Shit. Shoot. They're out of something I needed. That's okay. Just is what it is. Just is what it is. Just is what it is. Shit. Hopefully they have the other thing because my doggies are spoiled. All right. So Moon in Leo, rising in Pisces. Girl. A Taurus with a Leo moon and a Pisces rising. Holy moly cow. Okay. So you have your Psyche over here in the sixth house in Virgo. That is how you approach magic and your own gifts and so on. You have your Pluto in retrograde in barely in Virgo in the seventh house. You have your Uranus in retrograde. Oh, you got all the retrogrades. Okay. Six. Okay. So Pluto in retrograde, Uranus in retrograde, both in the seventh house. Pluto in Virgo, Uranus in, I almost said Venus, in Libra. Then up here, if I remember right, this was Kali. Yep. Then you have your Kali in Libra in the eighth house in retrograde. What is that tied into? Hold on. I find it interesting that it is tied in with both of your notes. Okay. Okay, we're not going to get sidetracked. We're going to keep going. All right, so Neptune in retrograde in the ninth house in Sagittarius. Jupiter in retrograde in Saturn. And if I remember right, this was your Genevieve. Yeah, so Pegasus in retrograde, both in Capricorn, both in the 10th house. That Jupiter placement right there, let me just say this, Rita. That Jupiter placement, this little bastard right here, that right there is what causes you a fuck ton of problems. I know we're doing the soul stuff, but I want to talk about this just really quickly, okay? The fact that this is tied into your Saturn, it's tied into your Mercury, it's tied into your Venus, and your like it's tied into some very important placements. And some of them are arguing. They're not going very well. But the fact that your Jupiter is in words. Capricorn in the 10th house means that that's normally a workaholic, okay? Because the 10th house is kind of career and you know what you're going to do out in the world and so on. So having Capricorn there is definitely a workaholic placement. Having Jupiter in that is a powerhouse work placement. The fact that yours is in retrograde, the fact that it's arguing with a few things, that is why you have a lot of the problems that you have and why you feel like you're two different people. I mean, I could pick on the Pisces rising and you know, I could pick on you for the Pisces rising, but it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with your moon in Leo. It is that little turd right there. I mean, That is a shitty thing. It can be overcome. I'm trying to be honest. Like that right there, that is a lot of problem. It is. It can be overcome, and I really think like knowing it is half the battle. Like, you know what I mean? Like G.I. Joe. Sorry. Um, that causes you a lot of problems with being able to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. Like it causes you a ton of problems. But anyway, that's not why we're here. So this one right here, it's listed as Genevieve. This is your Pegasus placement. That's how you travel to the astral. Which that being in retrograde tells me that you have some issues getting there. Then you have your North Node up here in Capricorn in the 11th house. You have your Hades over here, barely in Pisces, but in the 12th house, Pisces rising. You have your Hecate down here in Aries, and ooh, oh, this actually kind of helps with this. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. I'm gonna give you answers. And then finally we have your Mercury in Taurus in your second house. So we're gonna start here, okay? Because this made me really excited when I saw that this is tied in up there. The Hecate placement is how your magic manifests, like where it is, where it sits, what it is, the gifts and so on. Yours is in your first house in Aries. So the starting sign of the zodiac in the house of the self. Notice that it's square with a couple of things, four things. Notice that it's trine with your Neptune up there. Square is not always a bad thing. And I usually have to explain that. People think they see square and they automatically think bad, and that's not the case. So, for example, if that Hecate was square with your Pegasus up there and your Pegasus was not in retrograde, probably could be like a wall, a block, but it's not. It actually kind of helps to cancel that out. So, I think that your Pegasus up here, I know it says Genevieve, but that's your Pegasus placement. That your issues with getting to the astral, your issues with, I actually have a feeling that that is the problem. You actually getting there. Like you can't figure out what it is to bypass to get there. I personally think that this is just canceling out that. I'm not saying that I would give up on trying to go to the astral. What I am saying is if you focus on this first, which is making sure that you are solid, that your magic is solid, then the astral is like that, dude. So having your Hecate in the first house, the house of the self, in the first sign of the zodiac. What the hell my cat is doing back there? In the first sign of the zodiac. Dude, that is a massive amount of personal power. It's a massive amount of manifestation. You are somebody, and I guarantee you that if you really think about this, when I say this, you're going to be like, holy fuck. See how this is square right here with these two placements. And remember when I was like, oh my God. So that is your divine masculine and your divine feminine in the house of family, roots, home in Cancer. And having Cancer and the fourth house together like that, that's just like Capricorn in the 10th house. Cancer is such a family driven sign, roots and home and things like that. And then you have your divine feminine and your divine masculine, both in Cancer, both in the fourth house. So those things are vital to you, vital to who you are. That's square with your Hecate. In other words, you manifest for everybody but you. You can say things and they happen for everybody. You can plan things, like in your mind, can sit there on the couch and be like, man, I really want my cousin to get that dream job that she's been eyeing, that she's been wanting. And it happens. She calls you the next day and she's like, bitch, I just got the best job. So you tend to give your personal power away. You give your magic away. See how this is also that is just a weird aspect, but it's also tied in with your Saturn right here in Gemini. It fell off my brain. That's why I didn't give you the name of it. That is your house of the mind, right? So your mental brain house, your internal thoughts. That is your Saturn placement. That's your discipline. That's karma. That's all those things. The fact that that's in Gemini, that also means that you fight with yourself about where to put your own magic. It means you question yourself on who you are all the time. Um, you give away so much of you to other people. So here's what I'm going to say, because this also makes you phenomenal at family, anything to do with family, with roots, with home, with grounding, with protection, with relationships, with things like that. I would say, okay, hang on, let me pause for just a minute. Guys, this is your friendly reminder not to be creepy. Okay. I have let some comments slide, and I get it, but I don't get it. Okay. I've let some comments slide. So I'm gonna need y'all to not be creepy. Okay. My mods are under a strict no tolerance policy that it is mute first and ask questions later. Don't be creepy. Okay. Please, please. If you would not want somebody saying that shit to your mother or to your sister or to your best friend, then don't say it to me, because it is definitely going to be a mute first, ask questions later. Okay? Just saying. All right. Back to Rita. You are somebody that protection magic is 100% going to be your forte. It is, because of this right here. Your whole balance lies in roots, home, family, and the places that make you feel safe. So lean really heavily into your ancestors, into ancestral practices, into all of those things. Like, if you don't know where your family comes from, I would highly recommend finding out, learning, whether it's talking to mom and dad, or doing 23andMe or Ancestry or whatever. I would highly recommend it, because that is where your magic is going to be the strongest. And then find somebody to, if you already don't, or if you don't have a teacher already, find somebody that can instruct you in that practice, and do your due diligence, because there are a lot of people out there saying that they do shit and they don't do shit. They just whatever. But really pay attention to where you come from. You're also going to be very, very powerful. We're going to laugh for just a minute. Okay. See this placement right here? Your Neptune in retrograde in the ninth house, and your Hades over here in Pisces in the 12th house. So this is a really powerful placement. Hades is how your shadow works. It's kind of arguing with your shadow, but you are phenomenal at seeing other people's shadows. Like, you are a human lie detector. This placement right here, you have thought causes you a bunch of problems, but it doesn't. Okay. See how this is trine right here with your Hecate that we already talked about. So these two are like peas and carrots. Your Neptune is like your spiritual self. It's in the house of higher learning and education and travel. Yes, it's in retrograde. But that trine placement, look at newer practices. You might really want to get into ritual magic, and it might be something later on, but right now in this moment, those newer practices, you making something your own, right? You taking a spell, whatever it is, and really making it Rita's, that is your forte. You being able to take here's a spell with 5 ingredients, and you look at it and you go, okay, I'm gonna add XYZ, and then this and this and this and this and this and whatever. You making something brand new, that is going to be your forte, dude. I know that doesn't sound like a crazy gift, but I want you guys to think about it. If you um if you do ritual magic, part of the problem with ritual magic is that it is the same exact thing, right? If you have a moon ritual, then you're doing that same moon ritual every single new moon, full moon, whatever it is you're doing it for. And sometimes people that are very in tune with ritual magic, they might be phenomenal at ritual magic, right? But being really in tune with ritual magic means that you have a problem adding into the new things. Do you see what I mean? So, you being able to add into the new things to create something new, something bigger, something better, that is your forte. That is your forte. Protection magic is going to be an absolute amazing thing for you. I think that this astral travel, because I feel like we need to talk about that a little bit more. I think that this astral travel issue will resolve itself on its own. I think the thing that is keeping you from getting there is just you being worried about getting there. I really do. I really do. I think that is what is keeping you from getting there. Um, and a lot of times we make the astral harder than it has to be, if that makes sense, Rita. I would advise starting down the path of learning all the protections that you can, all of them. Start, that put yourself there. Now, what that's going to do, it's going to have you gathering bits of different types of herbs, certain types of crystals, certain types of ingredients, certain types of waters. Like, it's going to have you start, it's like starting to get into everything just a little bit. Does that make sense? So all the things, do it just a little bit. But protection is the cornerstone of any practice. You being naturally in tune with protection, whether it's for you or anybody else, you are going to be that person that, like, you can make shit happen or not happen based on who you're protecting. So, just saying. Oh, also the fact that your north node, we didn't even really to get into that really. Your north node is up there in your social house. Yeah. Yeah. Girl, you are going to be a powerhouse protector. I'm just saying. So, yeah. My advice would be not just spiritual, but other stuff. That Jupiter in retrograde is an issue. It is. It's an issue. So dive down the rabbit hole about what a Jupiter in retrograde in Capricorn in the 10th house means. Look it up on Google, but the thing is, like, be careful because it can give you some wrong information. And then, if you want to book a reading with me or with somebody else to go over this and forward it to now and see what's going on, I think that would be a good idea, because that caught my eye right before any really of the magical placements. I was like, damn, okay. So that's a rough placement, dude. So I would say blame it on your mom, but that's also like Jupiter doesn't move very much. So pretty much everybody born in the same year that you were born has that placement. So yeah. But I hope that makes sense, Miss Rita. Oh, I see over there you said it makes so much sense. All right. So let me hide that for a minute. You are so welcome. You are so welcome, Miss Rita. And thank you for being so patient. Those of you guys that have been kind of waiting on me, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see here. Let me fix this. How are you guys this evening? Any day now. Taking forever. There we go. What's up, Sam? How are you? I'll tell you what, because I do see several of you guys asking, like, how do you get one of these? Let's see here. I am going to put one of these events for these types of readings up for next Tuesday. So if you want to get on the list for that, if you want to get on early, because that list fills up crazy fast when I do these, there we go. That is now up on the website. I'll put it up on my link tree. So if you guys want to get, maybe, okay, there we go. I'm like, maybe. I had promised y'all the other day that I would get this up, and I didn't. That migraine knocked me on my entire ass. On my entire ass. So it's like going through some major trauma and you're like, bitch, my whole ass. I got knocked on my whole ass. So yeah. But this will be the 4th, which is a week from today. Dude, me too, Marie. Me too, Marie. All right, so let's do this. I can't believe that next week is August. I can't believe Saturday is August. I can't fucking believe it. All right. There we go. All right, so if you guys want to get on the list, I will do this next Tuesday, the Souls Magic placements. Like Bella said, she said she got the last spot last week and it filled up so quick. It does. Every time I do these reads, they're done. They're done, right? So these ones are ones that I'm finishing up because that migraine, it took me down. Took me down. All right. Deetra's next. And let me get you up here. Let's see here. Let me tell you guys who all is on the list for this evening, who I have. So I have Deetra, Dana, Sherry, Sarah, Tracy, Ciara, or is it Sierra? Sierra, Samantha, Amanda, and Bella. Sam, I thought I had you on my list tonight, but I guess I did yours last. Did I already do it? Yeah, okay. All right. Deetra, I don't think I've ever pulled yours, but let's find out. I have not. I haven't really gotten to eat today. I just realized, like, I'll be a hungry hippo. I'd be a hungry hippo. Okay. I like that there's no other place named that. I love it. All right, here we go. Yeah, I rushed out of the house earlier. I still have some things from yesterday. Those count, right? Damn, woman. What the? Man. Y'all are so funny. They count. Stop telling me they don't count. Y'all stop telling me they don't count. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Hey, I don't... Sass, you'd be proud of them over there on TikTok. They're literally bodying me. Ninja Bug, I love you. I got choked up. That was so funny. Ninja Bug said, that's like asking if Dr. Pepper is the same thing as drinking water. No. I do have water, some water. I love y'all. The evening completely got away from me. The evening completely got away from me. Yeah, these are a little stale. They've been sitting here today. Yeah, they've been sitting here. They're not super great. They're not super great. All right, let's do a teacher. I will eat when I get off here. Actually, before we start with Deetra, let me do something that I started to do. Breaking news, federal government has given single people deadline till December this year to find a partner. Oh. Okay, I was like, that can't be real. But you know what? I believe it. All right. So, Oracle read. Okay, so Rebels Oracles tomorrow. For the full moon, get your water out. If it is still the 28th where you are, then get your water out. Okay? And then we have forensic files on the 30th. Okay. Sweet. So yeah, if we go a little over tonight, no biggie, because we can finish them up tomorrow. Because I literally have the entire day kind of blocked for the Rebels Oracle, which is tomorrow. All right, Deidre, are you ready? Feather keeps catching. So many fucking Cancer placements. Like, so many Cancer placements. Cancer Sun, Aquarius Moon. Oh, this full moon is hitting you in the butt. Okay. Aquarius Moon. Crazy amounts of triangles. Okay. And Virgo Rising. You might be one of the most serious Cancers that I have met. All right. You might be one of the more serious Cancers that I have met. Okay. So we're going to start in the first house and go around. So you have your Pluto in the first house in Libra. Okay. That's a whole read in itself right there. You have Uranus in Scorpio in the second house, your South Node in Scorpio in the second house, and which placement is this? Your Hecate in the second house. Bitch, you a money witch. Okay. Ma'am, you have just been telling people that you are a hustler. Oh, you have just been telling people, Sass, I love you. You have just been telling people that you are a hustler your whole life. That is not it at all. You know what it is? You a money witch, girl. The second house is your money house. That's your material girl house. This is why you don't ever do without. You tell the universe you need this to pay the bills, and the universe brings it. Or brings you the opportunity to do it. South Node in Scorpio in retrograde in the second house. Pegasus in retrograde in the third house in Scorpio. Ooh, your Kali placement is in the third house in Sagittarius. So Kali is like your fire, where your personal energy comes from. That one's an interesting placement. That's a whole read in itself right there, too. Neptune in retrograde and Sagittarius in the 3rd house. Nothing in the 4th. Nothing in the 5th. Moon barely over in the 6th house. Arguing with everything. Okay. Nothing in the 7th house. Wait a minute. I was wrong. Your south node is up here. Your north node is down here in Scorpio. Don't listen to me. I was wrong. Taurus in retrograde in the 8th house. Okay, that's interesting. You kind of refuse to see your own shadow sometimes. Oh, yeah, and your descending is in Pisces. Yeah. So shadow work is hard as fuck for you, and it hurts your feelings all the time. Jupiter in Taurus in the 9th house. I see you over there. I see you over there. I see you over there with your little ritual magic self. I see you over there. Okay. I got some. Yeah, I got some suggestions for you. Then we have, I can't tell if that is in your 11th house. So you have all of this massive Cancer placements in your 11th house. Holy hell. Okay. So that is your Hades, then your Mercury, then your Sun, and then this one's got to be that's your Psyche. And your Venus, all in Cancer, all in the 11th house. Then you also have your Saturn and Leo in the 11th house. And then you have your Mars and Virgo in the 12th house. Okay, so first things first. Stop giving your magic away. Stop giving your magic away. You have your Psyche, which is an asteroidal placement, and you have your Hades, which is how you think about your magic, how it comes out, and also your shadow self. Remember how I also said that you have a problem doing shadow work. Your attunement, basically, how in tune you are to shadow. Hades in your 11th house. That is a social house. Also, being a Cancer, you are very people oriented. Having your sun sign in your 11th house means that you are people oriented. So you already give away the vast majority of your energy. Plus, you have your Venus there. So you can't help it. Having your Pluto in Libra in the 1st house means that you try way too hard to balance out how you feel about yourself with how you want everybody else to feel, or how you think everybody feels about you. So you're really fighting with yourself all the time. But remember when I said this placement right here? Girl, that is a money placement. That is your magic, where your magic starts in your money house in Scorpio. Scorpio is such a driven damn sign. Have you ever tried to tell a Scorpio that they can't do something? It's like telling a Capricorn they can't do something. They will do it 9 times over, get a gold trophy, come back and throw you a t-shirt. Like, yeah. So I'm just saying. Then you have this one, your Jupiter in the 9th house. This is in your higher learning. It's in your travel, etc. Where was your Pegasus again? Retrograde. And it's tied in with your Saturn. I find that interesting. Okay, so we're going to start here, and then we're going to talk about this Pegasus placement. Your Jupiter up here in your 9th house, girl, you are amazingly in tune with ritual magic. It's going to come so easy to you that it's almost going to be scary. I would highly advise looking at Hermes Trismegistus. I would look at the documentation in the books of the Order of the Golden Dawn. I would look at the Ars Goetia. The Ars Goetia is not so much ritual magic as it is explaining Solomonic magic. I would also look at Agrippa. Okay, Agrippa. Those are the biggest ones and the ones that are easiest to find. And then, girl, I would just fall down the rabbit hole from there. That's exactly what I would do. I would fall down every ritual magic rabbit hole from there. The fact that you're a Cancer, you are going to have to fight with yourself a little bit because you're going to want to naturally argue, like, well, why am I putting this circle here? Why can't I put a triangle here? Like, but you're so in tune with those old schools of thought, old schools of magic, that I think it's going to fall into place just naturally, just boom, 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 boom. So now I want to talk about this Pegasus placement, because see how it is arguing right here. Dude, you travel a lot, a lot. If that was not arguing with your Jupiter, I would say different. I would say, you know what? You must have a problem traveling, you must have a problem getting there, etc. And you're kind of supposed to, but something in the universe was like, no. Here we go. The fact that that's in opposition kind of cancels out that retrograde aspect. I do find it interesting that it's tied in with your Saturn. And that's why I say you are supposed to have problems traveling, either to not get to the astral or whatever. But there is something that shifted with you, with your soul, however you want to term it, that allows you to travel really easily. So I would bet that if you don't realize you're traveling, I'm going to give you kind of the telltale signs of it. Waking up and being way more exhausted than when you went to bed. Only remembering just black. No dream, right? No dream, just black. Waking up sore, like your legs are sore, your arms are sore, your back is sore, and there's not a mundane reason for it, right? Like if you have a shitty mattress or you slept all crooked or whatever, obviously you're not going to feel good. So make sure there's not a mundane reason for it. And then the other way you're going to know is if you kind of have flashes during the day of things, right? Suddenly you're thinking about some weird ass shit that you didn't see in a movie or read in a book or whatever. Those are telltale signs that you've been traveling. I would guarantee those happen almost every single day, because something has made sure that you are able to travel. You shouldn't be able to. Like that, see how it's trine with your Saturn? That's a karmic placement. To me, that signifies that there was something that was like, you don't get to travel in this life, and your soul had other plans, or the universe had other plans, or whatever. Something had other plans, and you travel constantly. What was the other one I was going to talk about? Hold on. Where is your Kali? Right there. There we go. This one. Don't watch me on. I only slept about 4 hours last night. I could not go to sleep, and then I was wide awake at 8 a.m. It was bullshit. It was bullshit. The one day this week that I could sleep in, and nope, here we are, wide awake. Your Kali placement is in Sagittarius in the 3rd house. You should be able to sit and meditate and instantly pull this fire up, but it's in retrograde. So know that talent is there. It is also in trine with your Saturn, meaning that is something that's been blocked. You can bust through that block. You can absolutely bust through that block. Just start really working on training your own brain. Look into different meditation techniques. Find the ones that work for you. A lot of times, especially if you are of the neurospicy persuasion, then you're going to find out that being able to occupy your hands, occupy your body doing something. Like for me, driving is meditation. It's autopilot, right? It's autopilot to drive. And so for me, that is just straight up autopilot. And then my brain starts to like do this, right? And suddenly, yeah, this is why I love to drive everywhere. I love to drive everywhere. I would drive to Japan if I could. I would drive to China if I could. Um, Start looking into meditation techniques because that can be busted. That block can be busted. Just letting you know. That block can absolutely be busted. It's not anywhere like as bad as you might think it is. Does that make sense? I know I was kind of tripping over my own words there for a minute, but does that make sense? But yeah, money magic is your forte, dude. Money magic, ritual magic. Absolutely. Absolutely. And maybe work on your shadow self because you have a natural aversion to not wanting to do that. Just a natural aversion, like no big deal, just a little one. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Is that why you're broke all the time? So here's the thing. When you're really good at money magic and you don't know it, if you really were to think about everything, you always either have exactly enough to pay the bills or you have the opportunity to hustle to get the money to pay the bills. You might have to, kind of rob Peter to pay Paul sometimes, but you always get everything done. You sit, you put your mind to it, and you're like, you know what? I need $150 extra to pay the electric bill or whatever. It was too high this month. Or I need $150 extra, and bam, some opportunity presents itself for you to go get $150 really quickly. You have always been able to make ends meet. You have always been able to hustle. You just called it hustling. It's money magic. So if you start really putting this to work for you, I would highly advise looking at money magic. I would highly advise learning how to do all the money workings. Look at growing some of your own herbs for money workings. Mint is a phenomenal one. Super easy to grow, will take over everything. But things like that. Things like that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I guarantee you manifest money for other people. I know you do. I guarantee you manifest money for other people. I can tell my filter is going out. It tastes gross. All right, Miss Dana. Absolutely. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Sometimes just knowing that you have that skill makes all the difference. All right, let's see here. I'm watching the DoorDash person so I can get their food off the I can get the doggy dog food off the porch because it's still almost 100 degrees outside. Stupid. No, don't do that. No, stop it. Yeah, let me see what it still is. So stupid. That's what it is. It's stupid. So I lied. It's only 84 and it only feels like 93 at 9 o'clock at night. Only. Only. And we're supposed to have rain tomorrow. I told you, Sass, didn't I tell you? Called it. I was talking to Sass earlier and I was driving. And I was like, man, we're not supposed to have rain for a while, but yet it is overcast. The way my brain feels today, like this is storm weather. And sure as shit, now I look on the thing and it says that we have a pretty good chance of rain tomorrow. Did I just hear somebody knock? Hold on. Was that you? Did somebody just knock? Okay. Yes. Christopher. Alrighty then. Feels like Satan's butt crack outside. I have been telling so many people that it's like Hades' armpit. Oh, like it's hotter than Hades' armpit outside. Who did I said that to somebody the other day and they were like, what? Like, think about it. That's pretty hot. It's pretty hot. Just saying. I didn't say which armpit. I just said Hades' armpit. Because everybody knows who Hades is, you know? It's funny and you know it. All right. Walmart is almost here. She coming up the road. So we're gonna start with Dana, and then I'm gonna have to pause while I'm doing it so I can go get doggy dog food inside. All right, little Miss Virgo. Little Miss Virgo over there. Where's your moon? Oh my God. Your moon and your rising are both in Pisces. Ma'am. Ma'am. I will say that's a lot of pretty squares in the middle there. South Carolina is nicknamed Satan's armpit. I mean, Satan's armpit. That's funny. That's a lot of emotions for a Virgo. I bet you fight with yourself so damn much. Okay. Oh, there's my delivery thing. It doesn't even show she was at the house. All right, I'll be right back. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves nicely, but talk amongst yourselves. Thank you. All right, come on. We got doggy boy foods. Come on, come on. Let's see if you'll actually eat this. Come on. I hope so. I love you, but you've already had yours for today. You've already had yours for today. You ate it. You ate every bit of it. I love you. I love it. Come here. Come here. You are so spoiled. You are so spoiled. There, your old man friend in there is so spoiled. He's so spoiled, dude. So spoiled. Oh, I love that. Gracias, mi amiga. All right. Whoever made these little mini pouches of mozzarella. So good. So good. Makes me happy. All right. Maybe I'm actually hungry. Maybe I am actually hungry. I don't know. All right. Maybe I'm actually hungry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have to show Zeus the bowl. I have no idea how to pronounce the brand name of this. Bel Giosio? Giooiso? Gioicio? Gioicio? I'm myrtleizing it. So that is, oh. So that is like, there's a place here in Tulsa that they will hand make like fresh mozzarella at your table. Like it's crazy. I love watching it. So they will do it at your table. And this is the closest I have found. Like this is the closest I have found. I am addicted to it. These with poppy seeds. Oh. I will eat these with like salt, pepper, and like balsamic vinaigrette or a little bit of olive oil. Or I will totally eat them with poppy seeds. I fucking love it. Yeah. I fell in love with goat cheese that's coated in poppy seeds and with some crackers. Oh, Jesus. So good. Try it with everything bagel seasoning. You got it. 100%. I'm down. Yeah, the pre-sliced logs, I get it in that. And I make my own type of like caprese salad with it. And then I love the little tiny balls. That's usually what I do is that, and I'll mix it. I make a weird version of like caprese. I'll put a little bit of like spring mix, those, salt, pepper, some tomatoes, and then yeah, the balsamic and yeah. I need to give you guys my recipe for that. It's so fucking good. Every now and then, I'm a big fan of capers, so I'll put capers on mine too. Every now and then I get a bug up my butt to do toasted capers. Holy shit. Holy shit. Toasted capers are the everything. Like, I don't even know a word for them. They're so fucking good. You just have to watch them because they burn really quickly. Okay, I was hungrier than I let on. Now I'm just starving. But my best friend sent me nuggets, so now I'm watching patiently for nuggets. Now I'm watching patiently for nuggets because I love my best friend. My best friend is great. I probably won't get to everybody tonight. I'm just letting you know because we're just taking our time. We're taking our time. So if I don't get to you tonight, I have a live scheduled at like 11 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll just start knocking them out. Maybe great. But is it good for your diabetes? Oh, the cheese? Yeah. Protein? I can eat all the protein that I want. So I found a lot of snacks that are way healthier and way gooder. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of just grabbing something off the shelf and throwing it in my mouth, but um yeah. I learned how to do a lot of different really big protein based snacks. Um I'm a big fan of those like makeshift caprese salads. I call them makeshift, but they're pretty much caprese salads. So yeah. You need a list of all the good diabetes snacks because you're on the struggle list. Oh, I mean, I can start giving you guys some of my recipes. Just saying. Yes. Really? I would, yeah, I'd be happy to do that for you guys. Um, yeah, it may not look like it because I do eat a lot of shit. Don't think I don't. But I don't eat nearly as bad as it seems like I do. Could I eat better? Of course I could. But I eat pretty damn good, really. Um, so yeah, but there's a lot of different protein snacks out there that are shit. They really are. Um, I've been having a problem finding the wild chips lately, the chicken chips. So that's made me sad. But somebody the other day, they were going to bring me the chicken and waffles wild chips, and it's WILDE. Um, and they didn't have them, so they brought me elote flavored Quest protein chips. And I was like, okay, this is either going to be really bad or really good. Y'all, they're so good. I was impressed. They are so fucking good. So a caper is it's like a little thing about it's about the size of a pea or smaller. They're super salty. They're covered in brine. And oh god, they're so good. They're so good. I can't remember if I think it's a flower pod. I think it's a flower pod. They're really salty. Really, really salty. Ooh, nuggies. Ooh, nuggies. Yeah, they're really salty. Oh. Sass is awesome. That's why. Thank you, Sass. Now I'm just gonna be like, nom, nom, nom. Yeah, capers are super salty. So, oh my God. Dana, I'm sorry. How accurate can a birth chart be without the precise time of birth? Decently accurate. But it will not be 100% accurate. What's going to happen is somebody will pull an event chart. So you are still going to have to pick a time. That's why I tell people get as close as you can. And I'll give you an example. For the longest time, my mom told me I was born really late at night. And I thought, okay, to me, late at night is like midnight, 1 o'clock, right? And so I always put my, but she said it was like before midnight, because I finally was like, well, give me a better idea, right? Like before midnight, what? She's like, yeah, before midnight. Okay. So to me, before midnight, really late at night, is 11 o'clock. Okay. So I would just put 11 o'clock. And I always thought that I was a Libra rising, which doesn't really fit, right? But okay. And then I got my birth certificate and found out, no, I was born like 8 o'clock at night. Not a Libra rising, I'm a Virgo rising. So it did shift a whole bunch of things in my chart. And then I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. So just being off those few hours made that much of a difference. Because see how right here, Dana is a Pisces rising. If we moved her birth time, see how close that is? If we moved her birth time at all, she could be an Aquarius rising. You see what I'm saying? So that shifts the zodiacs around each house. Because let's say that she was an Aquarius rising. And maybe Pisces started here. It's going to shift all these around. And when you get around here, her 6th house would be in Cancer, not Leo. So it shifts every placement you have. But if you don't know, if you don't have a copy of your birth certificate, or if your birth certificate doesn't say, you just have to get as close as possible. That's really all you can do. You just have to get as close as possible. But like I said, the problem is, like with mine, I thought I was a Libra rising for the longest time, and it shifted all this around in my chart. And then when I find out, no, I'm a Virgo rising, then things made sense. So I have little dogs circling like sharks. So yeah. All right, Dana. Are we ready? So Virgo, double Pisces. So we're going to start in the first house. So you have Pisces rising, Moon in Pisces, and Mars in Pisces in retrograde. Okay. Pegasus in retrograde and Taurus in the 2nd house. Okay. Hecate in retrograde in the 3rd house. Girl, your brain's so logical it ain't even funny. Okay. South Node in Gemini, retrograde. Look at all the Leo placements. Uranus, Venus, Pluto, Kali, and your Psyche. Okay. All in the 6th house, all in Leo. Jupiter in Virgo in the 7th house. Sun in Virgo in the 7th house. I think that's just barely in the 8th house. Yeah. Like, just barely. What's up, Blatty Patty? Mercury in retrograde. So retrogrades are actually a good thing for you. Well, Mercury retrograde. They don't affect you like they do other people. Then you have your Neptune in Libra in the 8th house. And this should be your Hades. Yeah, Hades in Scorpio in the 8th house. Saturn in Scorpio in the 9th house. And your North Node in Sagittarius in the 9th house. Okay. So this right here tells me that you are absolutely, and you're a Virgo, so that doesn't help either. You are absolutely a workaholic. The 6th house is your work ethic. It is your house of personal discipline. It's your health. So that's a lot. I find it interesting. I find it interesting that your Pegasus is also in retrograde. Okay. So, seeing that your Hecate is in retrograde right here, let's start there. Hecate in retrograde in Taurus. First of all, if you try too hard, then magic is not going to work for you. Being a Virgo, what I'm about to tell you is like one of the hardest damn things, period. Okay? But if you brain it too much, if you think about it too much, it's not going to work. You just have to boom, 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 and do it, right? Even though your Saturn is literally tied into your Saturn, which is up there in the 9th house, which is very indicative. Okay, see how it's got the little circles in the middle? That means it's an opposition. That means those two placements are not getting along. Your nodes are also in retrograde. So the woo-woo side of me looks at that and says that is a placement that's caused by something in the past, in a past life, with your soul. Something is keeping you from practicing any type of really deep rituals, deep magic, things like that. I'm not going to say binding because I don't feel like it's a binding, but it's almost like maybe you're paying for something you didn't really do all the way. Maybe you just drove the getaway car, right? Like maybe you just drove the car, but you didn't actually do the thing. And so there's a little slide in there because if your Hecate was not in retrograde, if it was direct, then I'd be like, damn, this is something we got to figure out what's going on. But the fact that it's in retrograde, those kind of start to cancel each other out, meaning that you still are a magical little shit, okay? But being a Virgo, and see how that's tied in, you want to automatically overthink everything. I'm not saying don't learn all the things. I'm not saying don't really dive in and hardcore pay attention to all the little teeny tiny details. Because trying to make yourself not do that, you're going to make yourself crazy just throwing stuff together. So learn all the things, like start really compiling the knowledge, and then still just throw random shit together. And I guarantee you that it's always going to be a very powerful working for you. The fact that it's in your third house, that is your mind, right? That is a lot of transmutation. That's a lot of I'm not going to say being overly empathic, but it's a lot of empathic abilities. It's a lot of clairvoyant abilities. But where was your Kali? Hang on. That was your Hades, if I remember right. This is your Kali. Yeah. Okay. Your personal power, this Kali placement, if I remember right, that's Psyche. Yeah. Um, this is a very powerful placement. All those things, I'm not even worried about the aspects right now. I'm just looking literally at this right here. That's a powerful placement because the better you take care of you, the stronger your magic will be. The better that you take care of your brain, your mental self, the stronger your magic will be. The calmer you are, the stronger your magic will be. So I am going to highly advise you looking into like stoicism practices, and anything at all, like Taoism or Buddhism or Hindu, any of those things that allow your brain to kind of woo-saw in a very level way. Being a Virgo, you already have natural stoic practices in there, but you're a Pisces rising with a Pisces moon. So you end up being overly emotional without realizing that you're doing it until after the fact. And you're like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. But the better you are to yourself, the better you are to your body, the stronger your magic and your magical output will be. Let's talk about your Pegasus placement. It is tied in with your Hades. They're in opposition, but your Pegasus placement is in retrograde. This is your back door into the astral. You're always going to enter through the lower realms. Always. You're naturally in tune with the shadow, having your, your Neptune and your Hades up there in the 8th house. That is the house of rebellion. You're naturally tuned to the dark shit. You just are. You just are. You're naturally going to be better at baneful work. I don't recommend that be all you do, but you're naturally going to be better at it. You're going to know the right herbs to pick, the right things to do. You're just naturally going to be better at it. But that lower realm is your door to the astral. So if you're trying to travel and you're trying specifically to go to the higher realms, you're not going to get there right off the bat. You are going to have to go in through the lower and travel upwards. Same with the middle realms. You're going to have to go in through the lower and travel upward. I would be willing to bet that as a kid you had really rough nightmares. I would be willing to bet that you had very vivid dreams and that you had a lot of nightmares as a kid. I don't think that they were actually nightmares. I think they were things you were seeing in the astral, and the only way that either your kid brain knew how to explain it or your parents knew how to explain it to you was, oh, that's just a nightmare. You have an overactive imagination or whatever. So the thing is, the lower realms are my favorites. They are. The lower realm is my favorite because I don't know, maybe because once I realized that I was kind of naturally in tune to get into the lower realms, I don't feel comfortable in the upper realms. I just don't. I feel like I'm always being judged, or that everybody there is not being honest, like, I don't know. In the lower realms, there's a lot of scary looking shit, but most of it is just scary looking shit because we're told it's scary looking shit. If we all looked like huge praying mantises and that was normal, we wouldn't think that was scary. We would think the way we look is scary, right? Just saying. So, yeah. That makes sense, Dana. I know that yours kind of got choppy a little bit with food and so on, so I apologize. So, when you go to travel on purpose, I would advise, there should be plenty of meditations on YouTube, just the music. If you want to do a guided meditation, you can, but I don't think you need it. I think just the music. Look at music to travel to lower realms of the astral. Um, Tones that have sharps and flats in them, music that has a lot of sharps and flats in it, are automatically going to help you get to the lower realms. Just saying. Just saying. Aw. I love you too, Sass. Good. I'm glad that makes sense. So, yeah, learn about the lower realms. I think you're going to find that you're really, really comfortable there. All right, let's see who is next up here. Sherry. And I am sure that no one has ever sang you the old song Sherry Baby. I guarantee you no one's ever sang you that. I had an adopted aunt whose name was Sherry. She went by Dusty because she hated that song Sherry. Dusty fit her so much better. She was definitely not a Sherry. It's like, I don't feel like I'm a Mandy. Never felt like I was a Mandy. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't even imagine being Jolene. Jesus Christ. I love the song. I love me some Dolly, but yeah, I can't even imagine that, Joe. Yeah. Being Mandy, I get to hear that fucking song so much. And every time someone starts to belt it out, I just fucking roll my eyes. I just can't. Yeah, anybody that has a name that is a song. Yep. Oh, Roxanne. Mhm. Mhm. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. Yeah, I never got Amanda sang to me. But my name is Mandy. It's not Amanda. So, but I do love it when people, when I was younger, or somebody is trying to get on to me or whatever, and they call me Amanda, and I'm like, you could call me fucking Fred, man. It's still not my name, you know. I don't know what to tell you. Why would they put an A on the end of Helen? That's weird. That's weird. That's funny. Your family calls you Mandy. Most Amandas that I know, and I know probably 7 or 8 off the top of my head. Um, they all go by Mandy except for like one. One. So yeah. Oh, I'll bet. I'll bet. I'll bet sharing a name with a singer too. Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet. All right. All right. All right, Sherry. Yeah. So let's see here. Look at all the Scorpio placements. Oh, you're an Aquarius moon, so this is hitting you. Ooh, and it's in your third house. Oh, okay. Okay. So Scorpio, Sagittarius rising, you are fun to have at parties, like, and I'm not being sarcastic. Um, and Aquarius moon. So you're going to plan the party, you are going to be the party, and you're also going to bring snacks and drinks. You can literally come to any party we have, Sherry. All right. Pegasus in the first house. You are natural at traveling. Okay, girl. That is your forte. Astral work is your forte. I'm just going to say that because you have your Pegasus and you have your Neptune both in the first house, both in Sagittarius, and your Mars. So you have your spiritual self, your personal power, and your astral self all in the first house. Yeah, you're a natural at astral travel, a very power. Like you probably can ferry people back and forth. Kali in the second house in Capricorn. That's an interesting placement right there. Okay, okay, okay. We're getting lost, bitch. South node, Aquarius, retrograde. If I remember right. Oh no, that was Psyche. Kali's down there. Psyche in the seventh house. Oh, you ignore all the red flags. Okay. You literally ignore every red flag that ever existed. It could be the biggest red flag ever, and you would ignore it. You'd be like, I don't see it. Your Psyche being in the seventh house in retrograde in Gemini. Gee, that is a perfect storm right there. So you you're gonna have to be really, really careful when you're in the astral. I mean, these two are not getting along; they're in opposition. But you're gonna have to be careful when you're in the astral. That kind of negates a little bit, but you're still going to naturally draw to you those shadowy entities. So you're going to have to be really careful. So North Node in Leo in the ninth house in retrograde. So you don't trust yourself. You don't trust your own magic. Ma'am. Ma'am. Okay. Hecate in the 10th house in Virgo. That's a very powerful placement. And then your like last 3 houses are stacked. So you have your Hecate, which is your magic. You have your Jupiter. I almost said your Virgo. Your Jupiter and your Saturn all in the 10th house, which is career, success. Then you have your Venus and your Mercury and your Pluto in the 11th house, with Venus and Pluto being in Libra, Mercury being in Scorpio. You definitely like to use people's weaknesses against them, ma'am. Then you're a Scorpio. And you have your Hades in the 12th house. Oh, 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 oh. See that right there? that is your Hades. It's in your spiritual house. And this right here was your Kali, if I remember right. Yeah, your Kali, which is in Capricorn in your second house. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Here, I'm so sorry. Here, I'm going at all of it and y'all can't even see it. I got distracted by chicken nuggets. Here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired now that my belly has food in it. My brain is like, sleep go, yes. So we'll probably get off here after Sherry's and I'll start tomorrow. Because I apologize. We're gonna blame Sass, okay? We're gonna blame Sass. Because if I didn't have nugs, then I wouldn't be putting them in my belly. And damn it, chicken nuggets. And they're really good and fresh and hot ones. Okay. So now you see what I'm talking about. This is a stacked last 3 houses right here. But this was the thing I was talking about first. That is your Pegasus placement, and it's tied in over here with your Psyche. So Psyche's in retrograde, but that's fine. And then you have your Kali down here, which is in Capricorn in your second house, which is a major money placement. And then you had your Hades, your Hecate, excuse me, up here. Hades is here. Sorry. Okay. So let's talk about that Kali placement down there in the second house. Girl, use coins. Use coins. Coins of any type. They don't even have to be, I would advise using real coins. Don't use plastic ones. But coins, the weight of a coin, that is where you can put your magic. That is where you can put your power, right? So you're going to be naturally attuned to metals. That is going to be where you're able to pull power, etc. So, the little trinkets that are like a dime or a nickel or whatever, or they have the rings or a bracelet with one on them. We have them all over down here in the Southwest and in the South and stuff. So I would find you one. If you don't have one, I would find you one that has, money on it. But that is going to help you channel that personal power. If you're wanting that to come in, you're going to put it on your left. If you're wanting that to go out, you're going to put it on your right. If you just want it for you in general to kind of have around, I would get a pendant. But you definitely need that, the metal and coins. You can get the yes no coins on Amazon for cheap. I actually got this one in a holder. My other one disappeared, so I've got this one. But coins are going to connect you because of that Capricorn second house and your Kali being there. Like, money is what connects you to power, to your personal power. It doesn't mean you have to have a ton of money. And if you don't have a ton of money, you don't have power. That's not what I'm saying. But that is what is going to pull your power. That Hecate placement up here in the 10th house, this is a powerful house up here. And it's tied in with that Kali. You are always going to be an amazing, amazing practitioner at success workings, at career workings, at money workings, all of those things. And I know you're probably gonna be like, then why is my ass broke all the time? Because you're focusing it on other people. Because look at this house right here. See this placement? That placement fucks you. Because that is your Venus, which is your mommy placement, right? It's in Libra, which you want it to be balanced. You can't really do for you if you don't do for other people. And it's in your 11th house, which is a social house. And it's right there next to your fucking Pluto, which is how you want other people to see you in Libra, in your 11th house. So those two right there are just asshole placements. Not asshole for you being an asshole to other people, but those are asshole placements to you, especially when it comes to money workings, because this fucking placement right here tied in with this placement right here. I'm just saying. So I would bet that you manifest success and money and all these things for everybody else. For everybody else. Girl, take that, pull that Scorpio up and start doing it for you. Okay? Start doing it for you. I'm just saying. Dude, that's so weird, Sass. I just got your message. I just got your message. That's so weird. But these houses are stacked. You also are just naturally in tune with your spiritual self. Your sun sign sits in the 12th house. Also, being a Scorpio, you like to end shit. You like to end shit. But this placement right here, your Hades placement, that is also a really powerful placement, and I'm going to tell you why. You are not only someone who is naturally attuned with the astral, because that's your Pegasus in your first house. You are naturally attuned with the darker sides of things. You're naturally attuned with shadow. You're naturally attuned with the lower realms. I mean, are you going to be good at baneful work? Yes. It is not a forte though, okay? But you're good at it. Like if somebody were to be like, "Yo, I need a cord cutting," you'd be like, "Blah blah blah blah." Like you could rattle off the things that they need. But having your Hades right there, that is a very interesting placement. It means that you are going to naturally see all of the darkness in other people. And even though you have a ton of placements in that 11th house up there, seeing that Hades placement in Scorpio in your 12th house tells me that you see all of the crazy, you see all of the shadow, and you literally see if someone's carrying a demon in them. And that's, and I don't mean a physical demon, like they don't have a demon riding on their back, but any kind of just bad shit with that person. You know how we say, "Oh, my demons are playing," or whatever. You see that. And it goes against everything in that 11th house, because that's a lot of placements in your social house. You want to be social, you want to go out, you want to like people, and then that Hades placement comes in and you see all of the bullshit and you're like, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." So that one's a little bit of a rough one. It makes you kind of go against your own nature in a way. But I hope that answered some questions. Um, for those of you guys, that have never had a birth chart pulled, for those of you guys that have never had anybody look at anything at all with you, I would highly advise having that done. I would spend the money, hire somebody that you trust, that you jive with, whether it's me or some other astrologer. Find somebody that you jive with and have them pull your chart and have them look at everything. And you want to find somebody that's going to be honest with you and not sugarcoat shit. I could look at anybody's chart and sugarcoat shit, right? So you want to look at it. You want somebody to look at that's going to be honest with you and be like, that placement right there is not great. That is good. That, you know what I mean? Like you just spend the money and have someone look at your birth chart with you. Make sure that they can forward it to right now. There's a lot of astrology software that'll allow astrologers to do that, and then there's some that doesn't. So make sure that you find somebody that can forward it to now and tell you how. Let's say you have Jupiter in retrograde in your chart. I don't remember who it was earlier, and I'm so sorry. I've had nuggets since then, but somebody had Jupiter in the 10th house. And that's a problem career wise. So how is it affecting you right now? Right? Do you see what I'm saying? How is it affecting you right now? If you want to book on my, oh, there's Miss Rita. I'm sorry, I was using you for example, Miss Rita. If you want to book a chart read, you can do that in the services area of my website. And I usually only do appointments on Thursdays and Fridays because it's kind of the only days I have available. Um, but have somebody go through those. I do the mini spicy charts every now and then. And if y'all see that pop up, that fills up really fucking quick too. Usually astrology stuff, um, spicy like mini charts or these soul charts, that list fills up like this. So if you see that up, you should get on it. Like Bella said when she was on here, she got the last spot on the list I'm finishing up right now, and I think it was less than 10 minutes, and that list was filled up. So yeah. So yeah, but have somebody go through it and look at it. Do a deep dive into it. Astrology. So here's the thing: when y'all are looking at the chart that's right there, that is a snapshot of the sky above you when you were born. So it's astrology, it's also astronomy. The way that that's laid out, it's where the planets sat in the sky the moment you were born. So when you see all the things that are like the star charts or the map of the constellations when you got married or when your kid was born or whatever, that's exactly what that is. It's literally astrology. It's astrology, but astrology is based on astronomy. So that has a scientific base to it. The way the houses are assigned, the way the planets are assigned, all of those things. I do Western astrology. I don't do the Vedic astrology. I would love to learn Vedic astrology, but I'm afraid it's going to fuck my brain all the way up. But I grew up with a great uncle who was an astrologer in LA back in the day in the 60s and 70s when it was cool, really really cool. But so I grew up with this, right? Have somebody um have somebody do a deep dive of your chart because it is going to tell you about where the planets were, where the houses were, etc. when you were born. It's a snapshot of the universe when you were born is what an astrology chart is. I know that people discount it, um and I really did for the longest time. I'm not gonna lie, I did for the longest time. Um, Weird Uncle Ralph was always the one that would be like, "Oh, well, you're a Cancer, and that's why," or stuff like that. He would tell my mom that all the time. My mom was a Cancer, and he would tell her that all the time. He'd be like, "Oh, well, you're a Cancer, and that's why." I remember him saying that so much, and it got to the point where we would just be like, like we would roll our eyes at him. And I think growing up and hearing it so much, I kind of naturally discounted it because I had heard it too much growing up. And I heard everybody laugh about, oh, weird Uncle Ralph and so on. But I look back now and I'm like, Jesus, that man was right all the time. All the time. A good astrologer, somebody that's really well versed in astrology, not someone that just started doing it last week because it's cool on TikTok, because there are a few creators doing that. Um, Somebody that's well versed in astrology can pull up your birth chart and be like, damn, Gina, blah, 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 blah. And they can literally tell you all about yourself. So I highly, highly recommend it. I highly, highly recommend it. Vedic astrology is VEDIC. That is what people in India do when their child is born, on their child's 18th birthday. Like a Vedic astrologer, I don't remember what it's called, but before a baby is born, they go in and they have a chart pulled and all this stuff, and they'll actually give them like the name needs to start with this or the name needs to start with that, or all of that, and then they usually do a big read when the baby is born. I had somebody explain it to me that is from India, and she was telling me like, yeah, when I turned 18, we had one done, and I was like, holy shit, like that is so fucking cool. Like that is so cool. But yeah. But yeah. So If you guys want to book one with me, I would be happy to help you. I would love that. I would be honored to do it. But I know that I am not the person for everybody, and I'm okay with that too. Uh, but yeah, my software that I use here, I can forward it to whatever time. If you're like, hey, I'm considering, or moving, or I got accepted to school in January, like how is that going to look for me? Or like I can fast forward it to whenever you want. I can fast forward it to like 3027 if I wanted to, like, so yeah, we can look at all those things. We can look at all those things. So if you've got something going on like a really shitty retrograde placement, I can say, okay, well, let's see how long you're going to be in this, like what is it you got to do to get through it or whatever. But astrology is fascinating. It's fucking fascinating. It's really fascinating. Those of you guys that like space, that like, anything to do, I have one hair that keeps tickling me right there. Like I can fucking see it. Okay. Um, all of those types of nerdy things, right? You'll love astrology. You will. You'll love astrology. It's, even if you're not a mathy person, I hate math. I still understand all of that. And I will have my astrology classes up, my astrology 101 classes up. Yeah. Yeah. So I am going to get off of here for the evening. I know I've only been on a couple hours. But maybe it's just because finally sitting still, finally get food in my belly. I don't know. Or maybe it's because I only had like 4 hours of sleep. But my brain is like, guess what, bitch, you're going to fall asleep. So I am back on at, I'm pretty sure my live is at 11 a.m. So I will start with the rest of these. I'll tell you who is first. What if you don't know when you were born? Like your time? I'll explain that in a second. Sarah will be first in the morning. Sarah, Tracy, Ciara, Samantha, Amanda, and Bella. That'll be my list tomorrow. If you don't know what time you were born, just get as close as you can. The astrologer will pull an event chart for you. It won't be, so a natal chart is a precise moment that someone was born. An event chart is a moment in time, right? So if there's, let's say that there's a politician, because this happens seriously, and you can tell the ones that don't do this. DeSantis was a good example. No, he did not consult an astrologer before he did his campaigns and all that shit, because he wouldn't have picked those days. So you can say, hey, I'm considering saying that I'm going to run for this office, and I want to announce it in March or May or whatever. What's a good day? I'm thinking about May 4th, May the 4th be with you. I'm thinking about May 4th. They can look at it and go, okay, so let me pull your chart, and then they will forward that chart to that time. Then they will pull an event chart, and they'll say, well, what time were you thinking about making this announcement? 6 p.m. Okay. So they will pull an event chart for 6 p.m. on May 4th, and they will put your birth chart next to it, and they'll be like, all right, these things line up. They'll tell you, hey, all of this shit lines up. This is amazing. Do this, do this, do this. Or they'll be like, nah, bitch, pick another day. Like, no, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good. People do marriage astrology. If you're thinking about getting married, every year there are certain days of the year that in astrology are considered lucky for getting married, like to build a really strong marriage. Never get married on an eclipse. Never get married on a portal date. I'm just saying what I'm saying. But, so yeah, if you aren't sure, if you just are kind of guesstimating, then it'll be an event chart. So if you do find out when your actual birth time was, know that your entire chart can shift. So I'm just saying. But I am going to get off of here. And, oh, that's a good point. Sass said, the time that is printed on your full birth certificate is the time that you were born, no matter, it is in the time zone that you were born in. So whenever I pull, here, I'll show you guys. Let me show you. let's say that I'm going to put a new chart in. Okay. Here. So I have to enter in these things, right? So somebody's name, then is it a natal chart? Is it an event chart? I don't really do the charts. And then you put in their birth date, you put in the time they were born, and then you put in the location. So let's say, that's a lot of Miamis. Why are there so many Miamis? Okay. To be fair, in Oklahoma, it's Miami. We don't say Miami. We say Miami. So that's how you know if you're not from Oklahoma. You say, oh, it's Miami. No, it's Miami. I don't know why. Whatever. Just like a lot of people here say casino. There's a T in casino. There's not, but whatever. Anyway, so let's just say this. Bob Sampleman. Bob Sampleman. And let's say he was born January 1st, 1980. Somebody, let's pick a time. Let's say 6:33 a.m. because he's a jackass and he woke his mom up early. Okay, so this is just a sample. So it's automatically going to put it 6:33 a.m. Eastern time. See? Bob would be an asshole because he's a Capricorn. Sorry. I'm sorry, but that's funny. Okay. So this would be Bob's birth chart. Okay, so let's say I see how this is right on the line of, oh, Bob would be an asshole because Bob is a Capricorn with a Capricorn rising. Oh, damn. Okay. So see how that is right here on the edge? Watch what happens. Let's see if I edit this. Let's say, oh wait, hang on. I want you to look. So the first house starts with Capricorn and then it goes around, right? Okay. So Sagittarius is the 12th in the 12th house. So let's say that Bob finds out he was actually born at 11:33 a.m. Do you see how much that just changed his entire chart? Because Capricorn is now up here. Sagittarius is here, where Capricorn was here and Sagittarius was here. So do you see how it shifted everything around? So that's why I wanted to give you guys a big example of it. Like if it had just shifted to where his rising was Sagittarius, it might have only made a few little teeny tiny changes, but you saw the difference that 4 hours made. No, 5 hours. 5 hours made. 5 hours made that much of a difference. So let's go. Okay, let's say just 2 hours difference from where he was. So now, instead of being, the original one was 6:30 a.m., instead of being a Capricorn with a Capricorn rising, now he's a Capricorn with an Aquarius rising. And now his moon is in Cancer. Like, do you see it shifted? Capricorn up, Sagittarius is now up here. Do you see what I mean? So it can change your entire chart. It can change your entire chart. So if you can get a copy of your birth certificate, I highly would recommend doing that and finding out what time you were born before you spend the money to have your chart done. If you don't know, or you can't get a copy, or if there are some places where they didn't put it on there, and I know before 1970 there were a lot of places that weren't required to do that, so there may not be one. You just kind of have to guesstimate, go off what your mom says, you know. But I mean, I wanted to show you guys the differences it makes. So how I would read this chart for somebody with Capricorn in the 12th house would be completely different than how I would read a chart for Capricorn in the first house. So it can make a big change. So It is important. If you can't find it though, like you can't find it. So apparently I'm just going to say so repeatedly. So I'm tired. So, all right. I am going to get off here and crash for the night. And I will see you guys live at 11 a.m. in the morning. Like I said, we'll start with Sarah first thing. If you guys can't come watch live, no worries. Okay. No worries. It'll be on YouTube for you to watch at any time. So that way, yeah. So that way, yeah. Tomorrow is full moon. Tomorrow's full moon. Bet you already feeling it today, aren't you? But tomorrow is the full moon. So yeah. If you haven't put your water out, go put your water out. All right. I love you guys. I will see you in the morning.